Now, Coffelt will be wearing the red uniform, and Stanley of Interstate 35 is in the blue. You'll notice that Chad Stanley boy, he has one leg that is bound up from ankle to hip. But that hasn't stopped him from going in for the first takedown there. Chad Stanley goes up 2-0. He had a serious injury during the year. Torn anterior cruciate ligament, and he survived it.
Yeah, that's quite an accomplishment. His dad's the coach at Adel.
Not his own coach. That's interesting.
That's right. Jack Stanley at Adel DeSoto.
Referee's Dwight Spangler of DeWitt, by the way. 135 pounds. You're on Iowa Public Television's live coverage of the 1993 State Wrestling Championships from Veterans Auditorium. Our other matches, first of all at 2A, Ben Uker, this is a big one. Ben Uker of Osage against David Morgan of New Hampton.
And he's already behind. Morgan is ahead.
Morgan has to win for New Hampton to have a chance at the state title.
Now it's 2-2.
And it's a big one. Uker has pinned Morgan twice this year, but Morgan is trying to do better this time. 3A, it's Seth Septer of Mason City against Mark Ironside.
One of the best, already signed with the University of Iowa. Mark Ironside, a returning state champion from Cedar Rapids, Jeff, Coach Dick Briggs.
So let's go back to 1A, knowing what's on the other mats now. It's 2-1 after the escape for Coffelt. Chanley got the first takedown, and he's in again on the leg. Single leg, coming around behind. He's got it. 4-1, Stanley.
Coffelt has already beaten Stanley twice. His only 2 losses. Stanley's is to the man he's facing right now.
Well, Stanley's up by 2 takedowns here.
You know who?
Coffelt now coming across in a scramble, and it ends the first period with no change, 4-1.
You think these two know each other? Coffelt is 40-1. You know who his loss is to, Doug?
I got 1 red.
The man he's wrestling.
So they're 2-1 this year.
2-1 this year in the dual meet sectional finals and district finals. There's Coach Randy Calvert from Interstate 35. And
Coffelt had his choice, by the way. Stanley deferred to him. So Stanley will have his choice in the last period. Coffelt decided to go under. Stanley says, I'm going to go on my feet with you, young man. 4-3 here. No, did they give him a takedown? They gave the escape at the end of that period. Yes. So they had a discussion, the referee and mat judge, and decided that Coffelt deserved the point for an escape, and he got it. And now he has another one. It's 4-3. 4-3 in favor of Stanley on the left.
Don't block, Green.
Chad Stanley's blocking off with his head and his arm right there, making it real tough for Coffelt to get in. They know each other so well. They know each other's moves, and it's going to be, the margin of error is very, very small for each of these young men.
Coffelt in the red uniform. He got here by beating Herbie Buell of Alma North Polk 11-1. He pinned Ben Lenny of Belle Plaine, and then he beat Corey Davis of Wapsie Valley 8-5. Stanley got here by beating Ian Mall of Dallas Center 9-5. Thatcher Bell of Mason City Newman 6-4. And in another toughie, Ryan Schweitzberger of Kingsley Pearson 12-10. This timeout is being taken to look at Stanley's knee.
Coffelt's won 125 matches in his career.
Time being taken here.
Well, over on the 2A match.
We're trying to watch that 2A match because Morgan in the light uniform on top has to win for New Hampton to have a chance for the state title. And he's ahead 6-4 after 2 periods. And that's at the 3A match. Seth Septer and Mark Ironside. The score there is 17-10 Ironside.
Ironside well on his way to winning another state championship.
Here it's 4-3 in favor of Stanley, the man on the left.
Got the quarter Nelson there. He's trying to set up a shuck by. See, he's putting the pressure on the head, trying to get it so that Coffelt is out of position.
And this time, the referee says that's not going anywhere. We need to rework it. Now, Stanley's having trouble with the guard on his leg. I think the tape keeps coming loose.
And I can update you on the matches again as we have this lull in the action right here on the 2A match. Morgan from New Hampton has gone ahead 8-4 with 1:35 left in the match.
Boy, we're setting up a 189-pound state title match maybe for the whole team.
And with a minute left, Ironside's up 19-11.
Stanley is warned for blocking with his head.
Morgan scoring points with the back over on that 2A match, but right here, look at this. They're fighting for position right here, Stanley and Coffelt. We've got Morgan trying to pin Uker from Osage, and he's up 10-5 right now with a minute left.
And if he wins, we'll go to that 189-pound match between the two representatives of these two schools in the 2A championships. Chad Kodum of West Lyon and Chad Utley of New Hampton to decide the team title.
Well, and this is an interesting match over here with Morgan and Uker, because Uker's pinned Morgan twice this year, but they were good matches, and Morgan's rising to the occasion right now.
Here we are at 1A, Paul Coffelt and Chad Stanley. A good match, 4-3. We just started the third period, and Stanley is on the underside, this time leading by a point.
You can see that leg all bandaged up, and as Doug told you earlier, he survived torn anterior cruciate ligaments. He's got that thing wrapped from the ankle all the way up to the thigh, and he's a courageous young man to be out there.
Not go anywhere, guys. Let's go.
Stalemate. Referee Dwight Spangler of DeWitt calls him back to the center again, and once more, here comes Stanley. The tape is coming loose on his guard.
We got 12 seconds left. It's about 11 seconds left in that 2A. It's 12-6 New Hampton. It looks like it's going to come down to 189 for the 2A state championship. And Mark Ironside has won his championship.
Here is Coffelt on the top, but trailing by a point. Coffelt in the advantage position over Chad Stanley, trailing 4-3. He needs to turn Stanley or else let him go and try to take him down. And the winner, by the way, was David Morgan, so 12-6. So we're setting up a championship match at 189, which will decide not only an individual title, but a team title at 2A. Look forward to that. That's coming up at 189 pounds.
Second loss for Osage tonight in the finals. Wasn't a good finals night.
Come on, let's go. We're going.
We have a minute here to go with the score 4-3 in favor of Stanley. But Stanley's in the bottom here, has not been able to get out. But Coffelt hasn't been able to turn him. He's going to have to make a decision here very soon about whether to let him out and try to take him down or continue trying to turn him. He has not been able to turn it.
Coach Dan Christensen, a little body English in the corner. He's urging his young wrestler to try to come out, try to come up.
You see him glance over to his coach now. He's
watching him on top. His wrestler Coffelt is on top right now, and he's just trying to get him to get that tilt with his arm bar series.
He's going to stay with it.
Must feel very comfortable on the mat there with his turn.
Down.
So now with 34 seconds to go, he's going to go take the international start. He's going to let him go and try to tie it with a takedown. So there it is.
It's all you can do. Oh, yes. He dropped in on the leg. He has got it tight. He could finish this off if he can shake Stanley away. The longer he stays there, the harder it's going to be, and they're going to call a stalemate.
It's 5-3. We're down to 15 seconds.
What he needs here, it doesn't matter whether Stanley's going to his back. He needs control. Coffelt does.
What do you think?
Actually, I thought he might try to tie him up and hold him to his back there, but it's not possible. 10 seconds to go. 10 seconds to go. And Stanley in the blue leads by 2.
Get in there.
And Stanley's going to win.
And that's it. State championship for Chad Stanley.
Good job, both.
Evens up his year with these two. 2-2.
2-2.
Looks like it. Good job.
And the big one goes to Stanley.
and another winner. Let's get some awards at the 130-pound class.
That wasn't very pretty.
1A, first of all.
Class 1A, 130-pound awards. Coach John Yoder.
Let's go to Dean Borg.
David Morgan of New Hampton was completely emotionless throughout his match with Ben Uker of Osage because Uker had pinned him twice this year. That's the only emotion he showed in the entire match, but now he shows it because he is the champion at AA, 135 pounds, decisioning Uker 12-6 tonight. Dick?
All right, Dean. Mark Ironside of Cedar Rapids Jefferson High School becomes a two-time state champion for the Jayhawks as he defeated Septer of Mason City by the margin of 25-16. There you see Mark, a very happy young man, now a two-time state champion for the Jayhawks of Cedar Rapids Jefferson. Doug.
And he's signed at the University of Iowa also with Jeff McGinnis.
And that 27-16 seems really great, and it gave him
Last year, you know, when they wrestled for third place, last year, and Wade Anderson won. And Tornberg gets it back. Let's go to 1A championship awards at 135.
Sixth place, Ben Lenny, Belle Plaine. Fifth place, Larry Anderson, Winthrop, East Buchanan. Fourth place, Corey Davis, Wapsie Valley, Fairbank. Third place, Ryan Schweitzberger, Kingsley Pearson. Runner-up, Paul Coffelt, Leon Central Decatur. And the 135 1A champion from Truro I-35, Chad Stanley.
Chad Stanley gets a big hug from Randy Calvert, his coach. The coach of the winning wrestler gets to give the awards. It's always a nice touch. 135 pounds. Now we're going to 2A. This was a monster match, in importance for state team title, because it was between Osage and New Hampton, who will settle it at 189 pounds. The team title will be decided there.
Severson of New Hampton. Sixth place, Brian Gilmore, Spirit Lake. Fifth place, Dax Weedman, Dyke, New Hartford. Fourth place, Damon Wick, Mediapolis. Third place, Lee Hansen, Tama, South Tama. Runner-up, Ben Uker of Osage. And the 135-pound 2A champion from New Hampton, David Morgan.
Got beat by Ben Uker twice during the year. Not only beaten, but pinned. And he saved the best for last. And he can afford a big smile up there on the top. He'll have an even bigger one if the 189-pound match turns New Hampton's way, but we'll have to see what happens when we get there. Now the 3A awards at 135.
3A 135-pound awards. Coach Dick Briggs of Cedar Rapids Jefferson. Sixth place, Jason Kenny, Lewis Central Council Bluffs. Fifth place, Todd Johnston, Fort Madison. Fourth place, Dustin Johnson, Des Moines Roosevelt. Third place, Jerry Basie, Pleasant Valley. Runner-up, Seth Septer, Mason City. And the 135-pound 3A champion from Cedar Rapids Jefferson, Mark Ironside.
The winner, Mark Ironside, for his coach Dick Briggs in Cedar Rapids
second
Jefferson.
year in a row.
Mark Ironside, the only loss he had this year was when Jeff McGinnis came up a weight, and they'll try it out in the Iowa wrestling room next year. The two of them both signed for the Hawkeyes. Mark Ironside. Well, we're coming up to 145 pounds, and we're still in the 1A division. We're going to be talking about Kevin Brisker of Lisbon, who finished fourth last year at a lower weight.
There's Chris Lembick stepping out there, right there in the light colored jacket. Second year out of Northern